So when I turned 30, I was living in Austin and a student at the University of Texas. Now, 7 years before, I'd already graduated college and picked up my undergraduate degree, but I was back at the business school studying to get my MBA. And if you're not familiar with how it works when you're getting a master's in business administration, they like for you to have a few years of work experience before you return to college to pick up this master's degree. In any case, most of my new classmates are guys aged about 26 to 30 on a college campus where the average age is 18 to 22. So, why am I telling you all this? Well, as you can probably guess, a lot of my friends in their late 20s were single and they wanted to mingle with the younger crowd. To do this, many of them would try to dress in a way that would make them fit in, or in some cases, just wear the clothing they wore a decade before when they were undergraduates. Now, as you can imagine, the results were not very good. In fact, you could downright classify a lot of their outfits as cringeworthy. Gentlemen, I tell you all this to warn you. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that my friends made. The reality is when a guy's in his mid-20s, definitely when he's approaching the age of 30, at this point, gents, the boy needs to start dressing like a man. And let me be clear, I'm not saying you can't have fun, that you can't wear fashionable clothing, and I'm not saying that you have to wear a suit. No, what I am saying though is that you need to change your mindset and that there are certain things you want to reconsider wearing if you're approaching the age of 30. So the first thing you need to stop doing is something I admit I did throughout my entire undergraduate career. Yeah, from the age of 18 to 22, I committed this cardinal style sin again and again, and it's one of the reasons I can't look back at any of those pictures and find anything that looks really good on me. I take it back. I think one time by accident, I had to get dressed up. And in that case, I was wearing clothing that somewhat fit me. And that's the first rule, gents, to wear clothing that fits you. Now, I'll admit that sounds easy, but it's harder than it sounds, especially when you are stuck in a fashion trend, especially right now. We're seeing tons of baggy, of loose clothing. Well, guess what? In the 1990s, when I was in undergrad, it was the same thing. Oversized clothing. In fact, everything in my wardrobe, I look back to those days, was a large or an extra large. The issue with that, I was 5'9", 145 pounds, a clear candidate for a size small or medium. But here's the deal. With fit, it's all about what we perceive to actually fit us and the trends, the fashion at the time. In my mind, oversized clothing was more comfortable. It looked good on me, or so I thought. In fact, it wasn't until my junior year in college when I went through Marine Corps OCS that for the first time I tried on a uniform that was actually made to fit my body. That first custom suit experience. Yes, it was a uniform and I wasn't allowed to wear it outside of military functions, but knowing what that made me look like, all of a sudden I realized, hey, there's a whole other world to clothing. To be specific, clothing fit, and realizing that, hey, high armholes, this isn't uncomfortable. In fact, it gives you more freedom of movement. And the same thing applies to trousers, whether they're jeans, chinos, or dress pants. A lot of guys out there think that loose, baggy pants are more comfortable, but when you've got a lower cut crotch like that, here's the deal, is it shortens your leg line and you don't have as much freedom of movement compared with a pair of pants that fit you properly. Now, gents, at this time, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Ritual. If you're looking for a clean, science-backed, multivitamin, or probiotic, you need to check out Ritual today. So the reality is when it comes to our diet, a lot of us aren't getting the nutrients we need, especially during the holidays, especially if you're a guy on the go. That's why I love Ritual's Essentials for Men. It contains 10 key nutrients and 100% of the ingredients are made traceable. Basically, Ritual is 100% transparent on where everything is made, where everything comes from. I also love how they got a delayed release technology on the capsule so it bypasses the stomach and it actually dissolves in the small intestine. As many of you guys know, this is the ideal place for absorption and it allows you to take these capsules without food. Oh, and everything over at Ritual is formulated without GMOs, glutens, major allergens, or artificial colors. And they're also vegan friendly. And if you like their multivitamin, you should check out their probiotic, Symbiotic Plus. So with Symbiotic Plus, you get a 3-in-1 probiotic. So it's got a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. The reality, especially during the holidays, is a lot of things are hitting us. You're getting back to work, you're working hard, and you are stressing out. Your stomach, your gut is, just simply not feeling good. Maybe you're even having some digestive discomforts. Gents, using a daily supplement like Symbiotic Plus can not only help to deal with digestive discomforts, but taking a probiotic can just keep your gut health stable, especially when you're traveling. So gents, if you're ready to try Ritual today, which I advise you to do, check out Ritual.com. centeno.com/RMRS40. That last part right there, that RMRS40, make sure to enter that into the discount code area because you're going to get 40% off your first purchase. Oh, and did I mention if you're not happy, if you aren't satisfied with Ritual, just let them know and that first order is on them. So we covered fit. Let's get into some specific items you want to stop wearing. Now this first item some of you guys may love because it is the uniform of the rock star, the young rebel who's pushing the limits, the guy that's sticking it to the man. Gents, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about distressed denim. Now, if you're working a job site and you're wearing jeans because they're part of your day-to-day uniform and they are distressed because you've put them through the ringer, yeah, of course you can wear that. What I'm talking about here is fashionable distressed denim, which, believe it or not, has come in and out of style since the 1950s. And again, if you're watching this video, you're 32 and you're part of a punk band, you wear whatever you want. Now, the guy I'm talking to, you're in your late 20s. You've had that distressed denim for a decade. You only wear it once in a while, but here's the deal, is it's probably time to retire it, probably time to donate it. Even if the holes aren't huge, even if the distressing is relatively minor, I think, man, at this point, you're going to get more mileage out of a pair of classic dark denim that just simply fits you well. And right with that denim, let's talk about phasing out the hoodie. Now, yes, of course, for casual wear to the gym, I think the hoodie is fine, especially when it doesn't have huge logos on it. But your day-to-day wear, guys, I think even if you're an older student on campus, I think the right sweater is going to suit you so much better. Seriously, one of the themes of this video is for you to start dressing your age, to embrace the fact that you are a man, no longer a boy. And when it comes to sweaters, you've got tons of options, a lot of them that are going to complement your build and look infinitely so much better than pretty much any hoodie out there. Again, I know some of you guys can prove me wrong. You could wear a hoodie like no other, but for the rest of us mere mortals, I'm going to recommend looking at maybe something with a bit of a neck, a collar that's going to build up your overall frame. Maybe finding a sweater with a nice rib pattern that's going to bring a bit of texture and a more sophisticated type of look to your outfit. The reality is, even if you're in your early 30s trying to attract the attention of women in their early 20s, a lot of them like a more mature man. So embrace the fact that you can dress in this manner. Next up, let's talk about your shoe game. So first up, I assume that you're not wearing running shoes. You watched this video this far. If you've watched any of my videos, guys, running shoes are great for when you're running. But day to day, even your casual wear, there are so many different options you have here. Now, I think a great looking pair of sneakers are fine if you're a guy in your mid 20s, even in your early 30s, but there are so many different options out here. Again, you can step it up, maybe go with a leather pair of sneakers in a classic color. But if you want something that's a little bit dressier, a bit more rugged, and something that's going to give you a bit of height, check out a pair of good boots. Now, I could do an entire video on boots, but what I love about them is they come in so many different styles, or you can just keep it simple with a classic laced pair of boots that is going to work with almost any outfit. Your choice of style, gents, doesn't matter. But if you're a guy in your mid-20s, if you're definitely approaching the age of 30, you need to try boots at least and find a pair that's going to suit you. Now, what about dress shoes? Well, if you're wearing a suit regularly, of course you need to have a pair of classic dress shoes. But for day-to-day wear, dress shoes are probably too much. No, I would recommend the classic loafer. Penny loafers, Weejuns, whatever you want to call them, this style right here is probably the easiest one to incorporate into your wardrobe. What I love about this shoe is you can dress it up with a nice pair of slacks and a sports jacket, or you can dress it down. You could wear this with shorts and a polo. My point, gents, is if you're in your late 20s, you want to have options. When it comes to footwear, you want to have tried and found the style that works for you, that complements your natural look. And that's a good transition into this next point, which is to have your own personal style. Now, in my opinion, a man's personal style is the image that he presents to the world, how he wants to be seen. This is something I recommend for every man, especially a guy in his mid-20s approaching the age of 30. You think through at least for a while. Because here's a great thing about this, is that once you put together a uniform, once you put together a look that, hey, I really like the way I'm presenting myself to the world here, you can actually replicate, you can build off it, but you only have to do this every few years. In fact, if not much changes in your life, if you stick with the same profession, you may be able to get away with only doing this once a decade. I've shared before, my go-to uniform, because I've got young kids, because I'm a family guy, I'm a business owner that needs to be able to dress up, dress down, is usually going to be a collared shirt during the summer, a polo. During the winter, it's going to be a long sleeve, dark colored shirt because it can take stains because I've got kids. But any of those, I can throw a sports jacket over and all of a sudden I'm ready to go. I usually wear dark denim with a pair of nice boots. And day to day, this is my uniform. It sends the message I want to send without me having to think about it. And that's key, gents, because if you're in your mid-20s, if you're past the age of 30, you're probably busy with life. You've got a lot of things going on. When you're 18 years old, you probably have a little bit, I know I had tons of time to listen to tons of music and just simply think and put different outfits together. A lot of times when you get busy with life, it's nice to be able to have a go-to uniform that sends the message, puts out that image that you want the world to see you as. Next up, let's talk about your outerwear. Let's talk about your jackets. I love a good varsity jacket. I love the denim jacket. Both of these are great, but they're more the realm of the younger man. But again, if you're 45, you got a denim jacket, you got a varsity jacket that looks great on you, rock it and ignore my advice here. But for the rest of you guys, especially you guys just starting out, maybe look to retire one of those jackets or just wear that fatigue jacket a little bit less and bring in a structured jacket. By structured jacket, I mean a sports jacket, a blazer jacket, maybe even a full-on suit, maybe even overcoats. Find a jacket that actually has structure in the shoulders, that builds up the shoulders, has clean lines, works with a variety of the different trousers, jeans in your wardrobe so that you could actually dress up when the occasion arises. Now, since I broached the subject of suits, every man I think should have one suit in his wardrobe that fits him well, that you've got ready for that special occasion. I think that charcoal gray, navy blue are going to be the most versatile and you'll get the most miles out of. Past that, I think a great sports jacket, preferably in a very muted pattern. In fact, maybe just solid, which you could even call a blazer, going maybe with navy. You could go with a dark gray. In any case, I want something that you can put on. You could even wear with denim, because I know a lot of you guys like to do that, or a pair of odd trousers. But the point is, this isn't a full-on suit because a suit is a jacket and trousers are made from the same material. But this structured jacket is going to allow you to wear more than just simply that dress shirt with necktie. You throw a jacket on, all of a sudden, you look so much better. You look like the man in charge. Now, what about pattern structured jackets? You're going to see these out there. You're going to walk into a menswear store, and I do recommend you walk into the best menswear store in your area, even if you can't afford it, and simply try it on. See what's available. See if these guys, if you watched a few of my videos, see if they're giving you decent advice. Because if you watch a few of my videos, you should be able to start speaking the language. I would be careful of jackets with too strong of patterns. These are not going to be as versatile. I think that they're great if you know what you're buying. Maybe it's your fourth or fifth jacket, but if you're getting your first structured jacket, in my opinion, stick with a solid color or a pattern that is very, very light, not something that is noticeable. Oh, and in general, stick with darker colors because they're going to be dressier, except for in the case of black. Black should be reserved for formal wear, aka black tie. So now getting back to things you probably want to drop out of your wardrobe, especially if you are past the age of 30, let's talk about those graphic tees. Again, maybe you've got one that you just absolutely love. It was a gift from your kids. Again, just something that you feel looks great on you, and you're 45, you're 50, whatever. Wear what you want. But I'm telling you, for the majority of you guys, especially if you want to improve your style, go for maybe a solid colored shirt. Yes, you knew the artist and you printed off that shirt, but yeah, it just looks aged if it's falling apart. Instead, go with classic dark colored tees, maybe with a V-neck cut, maybe have just a white shirt made from a little bit thicker, stronger material. But yeah, those bright graphic tees, those shirts with big logos on them, unless you're getting paid as a spot, it's a sponsorship spot, I would advise to phase those out of your wardrobe. So what about color? Now, some of you guys are going to think that bright colors you can't wear past the age of 30. That's not true. It depends on your skin tone. But I would say once you're at this age, you want to start understanding which colors really work well on you. What are the colors that get you compliments? What are the colors that work for your skin tone? And if you need a guide, guys, I got you covered with this video right here. I'm really proud of this video. I put a lot of work into it. I developed a system for you to find the right colors for your skin tone. Doesn't matter how old you are. Check out this video. If you want to dress, you want to understand which colors work for your skin tone. Solid video. Boom. Check it out right here.